Annie, and I'm back again with another 10 years and 10 minutes talk where I share with you things that took me at least 10 years to learn about leadership and teamwork and business, that I'm going to share with you those insights in 10 minutes so that you don't need to take 10 years to get it. And today I'm talking about a topic that I think everybody here, as long as you're human, will be familiar with. And that is, how do you interact with people? Like, what happens when things don't go according to plan, when things go wrong? Mistakes happen, maybe even big mistakes that are have pretty big consequences. In those situations, most people have a very strong urge to do something right then and there with that tension. So the big thing is, what do you do? How do you interact with people? How do you confront people when you're in a space of like, oh no, that is terrible. That thing that happened is not good. And I want to kind of break this down into two types of tension that are happening. The first tension that's happening is the outcome tension. That's just what I'm going to call it here. It's like the situational tension of, oh my gosh, the thing that we wanted to happen did not happen. So if this were sports, it'd be like you passed the ball and it got stolen. Okay, so that is definitely something you don't want to happen. So when that happens, and you feel like the other person made a mistake, maybe they didn't pass it to you well, maybe they kind of threw it away and easily let the other team have it. You now have the tension of, well, wait a minute, we don't have the ball anymore. Like, this play did not go as planned, and now the game isn't going like we wanted it to go. That's the first kind of tension. The tension of, we didn't get what we wanted to get, the outcome. The second kind of tension is in the relationship. This is the kind of tension. I'll just say right off the top, this is the problem area. This is the kind of tension where not only are you unhappy about not getting the consequences, about getting the outcome and having to endure negative consequences, but you are assigning some blame, some fault, something about the other person that they should have done differently. Let's say that you are in a place of, now we have tension between us. Now I don't perceive you the same way. I now perceive you as not quite good enough. I perceive you as maybe a threat to the game. Like, what if you throw it away, throw the ball out of the court again? I perceive you in a way that the relationship becomes no longer secure. And when I do that, and then I approach the other person, that tension comes out. And it usually comes out as criticism, as blame, as assigning fault. Maybe it turns into an argument and gets defensiveness going on both sides. And what's happening at that moment is the tension, our focus for the tension now has gone away from the outcome. We're no longer talking about the situation. Now the tension has escalated into us not being secure and psychologically safe with each other. So now we've got a relationship problem. And the issue with the relationship problem is that it's very much, how would I say? It's like when any of us are very concerned about how a relationship is going, we no longer are thinking about the outcome. We can't, because the relationship is the immediate threat. The relationship here is now all consuming for our thoughts, for our focus, our attention. Think about yourself in a situation, something that might have gone badly, and then you get into an argument, or the relationship starts to turn in a way. You are constantly thinking about, oh my God, how, now what? How are we going to deal with this? How am I going to get back to a good place with this other person? All right. So taking a situation that goes badly, And keeping it focused on the natural consequences, that's the tension you want. Because especially in business, right? Business is a game of achieving goals. It's a game of, doing a lot of stuff. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, to achieve goals. And when something doesn't go according to plan, whether it's a mistake or whether it's was something completely out of our control, it really doesn't make any difference because we want our thoughts and our focus directed on, well, what now? Now, what do we do next to get the result? And we want the tension to be there. We want everybody to be working with reality, working with the actual situation. When we take that and we move it over to when we can't control our own emotions and we sort of give in to the feelings of anger, hurt, fear, any of that stuff, when we give in to that and then we start to interact in the relationship, now we have taken our attention completely off the good tension, and now we've created bad tension. Now we've created the kind of tension where people are I would think of it as like we just handicapped ourselves. Now I'm handicapped. Now you're handicapped. and now we have a lot of psychological work to do to get back to a place where we are working on the game. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to deal with performance issues. Okay, so let's say that this person threw the ball out of the game twice. It was like the second time, something. When we are talking about the next play, the next plan, we are going to take that into account. We may need to even pull that person from the game at that moment, but it's not personal. It's because we, as a team, and perhaps as the coach might be leading at that moment, that at that moment we need to kind of shift how the thing is going, make changes, etc., to get the outcome. But it's not because that person was bad or wrong. There's a million things that happen in any situation that it's never that black and white. It's like it could be that the rest of the team didn't do the rest of the play properly, and it left this person with everybody guarding her, and so she threw it out of the court. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't play basketball, so I don't totally know how exactly that happens. But I get to watch it a lot with my family, and I think it's a great metaphorical game. Anyways, so we want the outcome tension. We don't want the relationship tension. So my big encouragement is to start realizing that when you get triggered and when you are going to interact with somebody and either be defensive, and defensiveness is just the reverse of blame. Defensiveness is basically saying, I'm all good here. I'm not the one at fault. And if I'm not the one at fault, it must be you. It doesn't even have to be about the situation. It could be just that, like the other person is now at fault for coming with a criticism. And that dynamic is just tragic. And so we want you to recognize that before it happens, that this relationship, that what we're going for in a relationship, for people to feel psychologically safe, that they feel the relationship is secure. And what that means is I feel safe and secure in knowing, in believing that you won't throw me under the bus. You won't blame me, criticize me. You won't abandon me. You won't do things that hurt me or my well-being for your benefit or even for just your, emotional relief. We need to trust each other that we will play this game and be focused on the outcome. And, if you are a sports person, I think you can see more and more over time how the best coaches and the best teams are the ones that are very much in reality, and boy, are they supportive of each other, even when somebody messes up terribly, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work to go to a place of putting the relationship and taking the safety out of the relationship. Then we no longer have a team, and we no longer have you focused on the outcome. And all of that is terrible for business. So the kind of tension we want is for you to be supportive of other people, and all of you facing reality at the same time, all of you going for the outcome at the same time. We don't want to protect people from that tension. That tension we need. And I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. To learn more about this episode's topic, pick up a copy of my book, The People Part, at your favorite book retailer or at anniehymanpratt.com.